Hello. All right, here's a question from Madeline. Madeline says, "Hi Tabitha, I'm in recovery from anorexia and wanted to ask a question. I heard what you said about not being weighed in recovery, and I really understood what you said about how from a neurowiring perspective, getting on the scale is showing your brain that your weight is of importance because it's fear of weight gain and that you want to try and control that number, and that in order to rewire, you need to stop getting on the scale." I tried to explain this to my parents and my therapist, and my parents understood, but as a legal duty of care to me, they said they still wanted to weigh me. I don't want to be weighed anymore because every time I'm weighed, blind or not, I can feel myself begin to hyper-focus about it, and I want to rewire. I'm gaining weight by eating without restriction, letting my body do what it needs to do, and I'm trying not to micromanage that, which is what I feel weighing does. I'd love to get your opinion on how to go about this. Sounds like you're doing well. Eating without restriction, amazing, and you get it. You get the neural rewiring. That's the main thing, honestly. I would say to people, if you can understand neural rewiring, if you can understand what you need to do, you will nail recovery. So you're in a really good place just because you're actually trying to recover. Love it. Now, in terms of the whole weighing thing, all right, so I totally get it. I get it from both sides. I get the legal duty of care thing. I don't agree with it, but whatever. The long and the short of it is that you're not going to get out with not being weighed right now. That's okay. Because as long as you do in recovery, as long as you understand your rewiring, and when you are making decisions, you make the neural rewiring decisions, it's going to work out because our brains learn in the process of making decisions. That's why. So for example, if you have mental hunger and it's not an eating time on your meal plan, if you make the decision, I'm gonna eat some food, that is way more valuable than if someone else makes the decision, you're gonna eat some food, and makes you make some food. Because your brain learns in the process of making decisions. Like if someone else makes the decision for you that you're going to eat, you're like a passive participant in that, right? If you're the one that made the decision, you're an active participant in that. And that's why making the pro-recovery decision is way harder, because your brain wants you to make the eating disorder decision, and it feels like the responsibility is on you. And that's why so many people seek permission to eat, because if someone else gives them permission to eat, it's easier. But that's not as good in terms of neural rewiring, because like I said, our brains learn most in the process of making decisions. So the main thing is the decisions that are within your control, if you are making the decisions that you know to be the best in terms of neural rewiring, it's still going to work out. And in this example here, actually you do have a really good chance to do some neural rewiring. So what you wrote here is, I don't want to be weighed anymore because every time I'm weighed blind or not, I can feel myself begin to hyper-focus about it, and so I can feel myself begin to hyper-focus about it. That's what you've written. That is a brilliant opportunity for you to do some pretty hardcore neural rewiring. It's really difficult when your brain wants to hyper-focus on something to not allow your brain to hyper-focus on something. Your brain wants to go down that rabbit hole. It wants to obsess about your weight. It's like, oi, 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 they just weighed you. Shouldn't you know what your weight is? Oi, come on, look, have a look, ask them what your weight is. Maybe you should guess what your weight is. Your brain starts doing that. And it's really tempting to go, yeah, actually you're right. Oh shit, I should really know what my weight is. Oh God, it's really tempting to go like that. Then you've fallen down the rabbit hole. There is a decision you can make within that scenario. And that is at the point when your brain starts going, oi, hey, you can make the decision to go, don't care, brain, shut up. And that's a really difficult decision to make. Your brain's going to be like, no, but you should care. And you're just going to have to be like, brain, drop it. And if you can do that, if you can work out how to not allow yourself, when your brain wants to hyper-focus on the fact that you've just been blind weighed or whatever, if you can work out how not to allow it, that is you taking control of that entire situation. So at that point, it doesn't matter if they weighed you or not, because you have not allowed it to trigger you. And remember what I always say, it is always a choice to be triggered. So even if someone weighs you and then shoves that number in your face and says, you've gained too much weight, even if that were to happen, it is still your choice if you allow that to trigger you to submit to eating disorder behaviors. And so that's where all of the responsibility does actually rely with you, even in these situations where you don't have complete control. You kind of do have control over this. I know a lot of the time it feels like you don't have control over this, but that's what I'm telling you, you do. And so whatever happens to you in your external environment, someone putting you on the scales, whatever, you can control how you react to it. And that is honestly the most important part of neural rewiring. And so you sort of have been given, as unideal as it is, you have been given a golden opportunity right there to get really fucking good at controlling your reactions to shit like that. I think you're going to do great, Madeline. Well done so far. Keep going. Bye.